And good morning, Dave and the AM Cornbread Man on your Cornbread Man morning show. What a week. We're still navigating a lot of that week. Haven't been on much, trying to rectify that a little bit and get things back to where they're supposed to be. My background's not working this morning. That'll be okay, though. Pray for my wife. It's been a hard week for her. She's resting at moment, and it's early, obviously. But we're trying to get back, get in a routine. Got some things to finish up today. Still leads a lot of prayers for her ongoing health, and we appreciate all the people that help us, and uh, are now some new folks that are helping us. We appreciate them getting in and giving us a hand, and it's she's doing okay. For all that she's been through. It's comfortable and but resting a lot. It was a hard week, and so she's really tired today. So slept a lot last night or into this morning. So let's pray for her as she continues to recover from just a really hard week. And when you go in the hospital, it's not easy. And just getting some new things set up. Good morning, Broski. How are you doing, sir? And had a good show last night. Enjoyed it. Worked late into the night, getting some things kindly caught up. We're getting there. Kindly caught up. But we'll be broadcasting through the weekend. We do have special guests tonight. Yeah, it's good to be seen, man. We'll have special guests tonight. Special dirt report with the driver. I don't know about tomorrow. I'll have to look. Thank you for the prayers. Need the prayers, man. We've had a lot of people praying for us. I mean, a lot of people. I've been contacted by so many people. A lot of people stop by the hospital. People sending their well wishes, trying to help any way they can. And it means a lot. Really does mean a lot. But we'll get through. We will get through somehow. By the grace of God, we'll get through. Let's see. Let's do our verse this morning. Share the screen here. Get a quote from the Word of God here. John 5:24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. John 5:24. I like that. I don't know what is going on with my thing this morning. I'm trying to be a pain. It's early yet. It hasn't woke up. So there it goes. I think there we go. There we go somehow. I think it's coming in. You can see it on the screen behind me. I like my little fishes swimming around, so I was trying to get it back up. So there it is. I think we got fishes. Maybe. They're seen. They're not swimming. There they go. Now they're swimming. It's meditative to see an aquarium or something like that. So this morning, let's look at our National Day. What is the National Day? I hadn't even pre-looked at this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. What is the National Day today? It is the National Employee Appreciation Day. That's a good one. Always appreciate your employees. They're what makes things go. They are the greatest resource. It is the day of the dude. March 6th is the day of the dude. Each year they celebrate dudism for an entire day. If you're not familiar with dudism, you're probably not, or a dude. Not a dude, if you're not familiar with it says. Or watch the film The Big Lebowski. Getting worked up about not knowing what today is going against the rules of celebrating today's National Day. The first rule of dudism is to sit back, relax, and go with the flow. Day of the dude. Okay, I can go with it. It is National Spray Tanning Day. I'm not going to do that. I'm out. But hey, for those that like it, whatever. It is also National Dress in Blue Day. Well, I covered that. I do have blue on. At least my shirt and my pants. National Speech and Debate Education Day. Yeah, it's fun to be a part of debates. I've enjoyed that before in my life. It is fun to be a part of debates. I've been in some debate clubs and classes through work and school and everything else. It is fun to do that because you can take both sides of an issue and you get to play the side that you're usually debating with, and you take on that role. You have to think through it and it's it's really interesting. It messes with your brain. And I mean, we did some heavy hitters. I remember I took a class at work. This is rare, a rare occurrence. Nothing was out of bounds. So, like, we debated gun rights, gun control. We debated pro life, issues. We debated it all. I was amazed. It was extreme. We did that in church too. It was fun. We debated, biblical truths. Took both sides of that. It was intense but fun. For you ladies, National Dress Day. Yes, for you ladies, National Dress Day, and probably all that we can get in behind the National Oreo Cookie Day. I think we can get in behind that. I think we can handle that. The Oreo Cookie Day. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite cookie or anything like that, but I've ate me some Oreos in my day. There's no doubt about it. So, you know, I'm a big macadamia nut um, cookie. That's my favorite, really. I like chocolate chip. I don't eat them all the time. I mean, I do eat cookies, for snack sometimes. But I do like macadamia. Man, those are great. There used to be a place, well, it probably still is in Atlanta. They fresh bake every day these three or four different kinds of cookies. Some have M&Ms in them, but fresh baked, and they're big cookies. I mean, like, now they're not the huge ones, but they're probably this big, about that big. And they make them fresh every day. At the end of the day, if they don't sell, they throw them out. And I used to get those. I used to get three of those macadamia. I'd have them. This is in Atlanta. I'd have them eight before I got home. I think I'd save one for the granddaughter. I'd eat two, save one. I didn't need to eat the two, but I would. National birthday or birthdays today. Not national, but just birthdays that we have. See if there's anybody that we want to mention. Uh, it's pretty dry today on birthdays. No, I was just not going to mention some of these. Let's see. This may be a bomb out. Let's see here. Bo Bichette, 28, baseball player. Good player. We'll mention him. Justin Fields, 27. He's not quite found his place in the NFL. He is 27, though. There is still time. He was going to conquer the world. He just didn't quite get there, you know. So maybe he'll find his way. It's a. I think the NFL is going through a flux right now in the quarterback position, where they can't decide exactly what they want. There was a big move at one time to go with the running, throwing quarterback, and they still like a quarterback that can run, but they're starting to get back a little bit more. A lot of teams back to a little bit more of a drop back passer, because a lot of these running quarterbacks, well, you know what happens? They get hurt. They get hurt. A lot of quarterbacks get hurt anyway, but when you're running the ball, doing, the different motions and stuff they're doing, you're going to be getting a lot harder tackles because you're jumping into that next line. Sometimes, there's no blocking for it. You're just out there trying to make a play, and it's going to be, difficult. It's not that it's 100% across the board that people have kind of went back through that to the drop back passer. I think it's a hybrid. It's a drop back with the ability to move. Like if you look at Patrick Mahomes, now he can move. He can get you a first down, but he's trying to stay in the pocket most of the time, unless he just needs to get yards. Took it to Jalen Hurts. Even he has not ran as much as he used to. He still does that, but you just can't take that beating. So Justin Fields would fall into that role, and he has taken a beating playing that kind of a role. Broski says, hold on a minute, let me get the official things here. I don't know why that's not crossing over, but anyway, when Oreo cookies thins came out, my goodness, next level mint cream chocolate ganache, lemon cream. I've been good. Haven't bought them in a couple of years, but they are so good. Yeah, I never buy them. I like it. My wife sometimes will buy them and bring them in the house. But yeah, we're better not to have that coming in the house, but she does sometimes. Even quarterbacks who are mobile have learned you need to be able to sit in the pocket and throw. That's true. Caleb Williams has already learned that. Jordan Love is another example. Excellent. On quarterbacks, I would agree. Dave, try Oreo Thins if you never have. I do not believe I have ever tried the Oreo Thins. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, you have to. I mean, because when you run, everybody else becomes a blocker. You've lost all ability. Once you cross the line, there's nothing else. I mean, if that is your play, once the team sees you cross that line, that's it. Now, granted, you may be getting 3 or 4 yards. It's like a running play, obviously, but unless they slide, they get a chance to pound the quarterback. But you lose all your options. What I like is I like the rollout a little bit better if you have to. Like if you can't stay in the pocket, do a rollout, but continue looking downfield. If everything falls apart, you have 2 options. If you have room, you're at the sidelines, you run and get 2 or 3 yards if you can get it, or you throw it away. And you're safe. You run out of bounds, whatever. But this idea of this whole, and these offensive schemers, and granted, they're good at what they do. They come up with a lot of, plays. But when you beat your quarterback up like that, you're just not going to last long. And you're just not. You're going to end up, because they're going to pound that shoulder you throw with. Because you're going to get tackled, you're going to end up following that shoulder, or they're going to hit you on that shoulder. Quarterbacks who run traditionally don't protect the ball like a running back, so they fumble more. Again, I would think even Lamar Jackson doesn't run like he used to. He's sitting in the pocket more. Again, I think that is an option, but it shouldn't be like 50-50. My God. And that's where they had kind of gotten with that. It became the trendy thing. Get a quarterback who can run, he can throw too, and we're running 50% of the time. Well, that's just not going to work. Enjoy your quarterback sitting on the sidelines, because that's not going to work. That's right. Jaden Daniels hasn't learned that, and he spent over half last season injured. And his body style. He's very good now. He's very good at taking the hit, but the NFL is a different animal, and he's going to up being. He's got to be careful he doesn't become RG3. That what happened to him. His career was basically over off of really one play. It just never was the same. Yeah, he can run like a deer, but he is thin as a rail. He's built like an NBA shooting guard. 100% agree with all those statements. I've said the same thing, like, wow. The guy that amazes me, who plays really tough for his size, he's tall, but he's thin, is Devontae Smith from Alabama, plays for the Eagles. His legs are so thin, but he's been able to, stay away from major injury. Pretty amazing. I'm a fan of Jaden Daniels. He just needs to correct that a little bit. You got to hang in there. He's got a great arm. He doesn't need to run that much. I mean, they just need to get the players around him. He's shown already what he can do, but he tends to take off more. Another guy who learned that is what's the guy from Oklahoma that plays for the Buccaneers? Man, I know his name. He stopped running as much. It's just too much of a pounding. And those quarterbacks have got to stay healthy. I mean, the offense flows through them. So, what is that guy's name? Man, I know it. Not woke up yet. Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Thank you. Baker Mayfield. He definitely learned a lesson. He still will take off sometimes, and he needs to. He needs to, but he had that same mentality at one time. I'll just run it. I'll just run it. And it worked at first because, he was young and healthy, and he's still relatively young, but he's taking a pounding now. So his body is starting to break down a little bit on these runs. So it's a learning curve for them from college to the NFL. And I think you can still do some of that, even design plays for runs. You just have to know when to call that kind of play. And there's still got a chance they're going to get hit hard and hurt. But I think if you when you spread the team out and you spread that defense out, that's when Mahomes likes to do it. They'll spread everybody out. And then, if there's nothing there, he'll fake. Sometimes he'll go, sometimes he won't. But so he's really good at not Baker. Mahomes is probably the best at dancing on that line. He's got a great mental idea of where that line of scrimmage is. Some of them don't do it as well, because sometimes I think he's over it. He's like just behind it. He's really got a good idea of that in his head. He's still looking downfield. He's a magician. I mean, he's amazing. And some of these guys that'll be coming out, they'll have to figure that out. It's just a different game. College is not NFL, even though great college teams. There's some nuances to the NFL. Caleb is really good at that too. That's why we compare him to Mahomes. Yeah, he is. He's an amazing talent. They got a guy who can take them as far as they want to go if they can just really continue to put the team around him. And they're really already there. I mean, I think they've got enough to do it. He's going to learn a little bit more. But yeah, it's those kind of things are not taught. It's just an ability. It's a gift. And some people can do it, and some people can't. But they have, and that's what throws defenses off, because they think he's coming, and he's able to be right on that line and still draw you up just enough. He can drop that pass right over your head, right in between you. And if you do stay back, then that's when he takes off running. And he could him by himself or themselves can torment a defense. So I agree with all that. Yeah, I like to look at that part of the game. It's the little things. I think the hardest part that is really hard for young quarterbacks to learn, what we just mentioned. And I also think in the college game, typically the lanes of throwing are a little bit more open, and so they can. And the players, all of them are not as fast because you get the best NFL. So what they have to learn in the NFL is those lanes close up a lot faster than college. So they end up getting intercepted a little bit more in their rookie year or whenever they start. And they're like, wait a minute, that worked in college. They have to learn the speed of the game, which takes a little time. There's that. And that pass, some of those passes they do on like the one that they throw short and all that, where they have to turn back and they basically throw it right at the back of the defender and then, up a little bit, and the guy never knows it's coming in. Some of those timed plays in the NFL, it takes a little bit to learn that. And then I would say, lastly, the hardest thing to learn is that clock of knowing how much time you have in the pocket. How to move in that pocket. Your backside. That guy's coming. That ability to feel that defender there. It's amazing. Some get it, some don't. Knowing how to not run out of the pocket, but adjust in the pocket, move up, still under protection, and throw the ball. And that's the last key, is throw that ball with a guy that's 6'8", 340, and run like a deer coming at you, and he's going to hit you as you release that ball. That right there is probably the hardest one, honestly, for them to learn, because if you flinch, it's overthrown or intercepted, or it's knocked down at the line or whatever. You're going to take that hit, and that's why they need to be a little beefy. Got some strong legs. Oh man. Well, in our we saw that Kristi Noem was let go yesterday. They said resign. She was let go. Controversial maybe to some. Um, you know, some wanted her to go. Some thought she did a fairly good job. She is now gone. Uh, some of the news headlines in Newsmax: Treasury eyes swift action as Iran conflict pushes fuel cost up. Some said that they were in a panic in the White House, at least from Susie Wiles, about how much the gas prices are ticking up and the midterms are upon us. That does play a part. I mean, people are not going to like that, but I think most people understand right now. They just need to get this wrapped up as soon as possible. You know, anyway, it's going to do some damage for sure. I mean, people in our area are already paying from the winter weather some extremely high light bills that are really just now coming in. And it's really freaking people out. You know, I mean, I've heard of some bad ones. So, you know, it's going to play on people's minds because it's something that we deal with every day, going to getting gas or energy cost or whatever. So that's not a shock that one's at the top of the list right now. Trump on gas prices, if they rise, they rise. And these things fluctuate. I would say if they're not like going $4, $5, $6, probably not going to be too much complaining. People are so used to having to pay over $3, they're not going to like it. Probably not say too much. If they spike really bad, now in the cities they be a little bit more, but if they spike really bad, that'd be another story. They would be a big bad story for them, for the administration. So they can look, and that's the third White House explores ways to ease gas prices amid Iran crisis, and the Dow falls nearly 100 points as oil surges to $85 a barrel. So I mean it's obvious what's on their minds, you know, what the news is jumping on. Trump thanks NATO head for Iran operation support. Iranian Ayatollah urges shedding Trump's blood. So I guess they're saying they're going to come after him. So, wow, what a time we live in. Now they're saying more than 30 Iranian naval vessels are destroyed. When they get done here, they're not going to have a dinghy to put on the ocean. It takes a while to build ships too. Some boats not so long, unless they buy from another country, but they're going to get sunk. So they basically will have no navy. So all that going out there and terrorizing, at least by ship in the strait, not going to happen. Now we got to take care of drones and missiles. We got to knock out that ability as best we can and keep that flowing. They'll probably have to escort a lot of these ships and have ways to, you know, because they can take down the drone before it hits, usually, and just run a screen for them. So I could see stuff like that happen on not every cargo ship, especially oil. I could see that, those being ferried through, flanked by ships that can attack and defend against the drones and missiles, blow them up in the air. Let's see here. UAE is eyeing freezing Iran assets after attacks. The neighbors are getting mad as missiles and things are falling within their lands. You know, they're saying it's against the Americans. Those countries are saying BS. You're hitting our people too. Iran foreign minister ground troops to disaster for U.S. I don't think anybody wants this. Really don't like that the president said that. I don't think he's meaning it at this point. I think he's just throwing it out there. House narrowly rejects the Iran powers curb, and that I heard that yesterday afternoon. Trump demands role in picking the next leader. They won't like that. Let's see what else. 5,000 bombs have been dropped, according to Israel. Weeks of strikes ahead. Over 1,100 dead in Iran across the region. So, U.S. and Venezuela renewing diplomatic ties. How about that? What else here? States to sue over new Trump tariffs. Okay. Trump is urging a pardon for Netanyahu. Boys that fight together protect each other, I guess. I don't know. Hope Bondi is next. Trump puts too many key positions, according to Broski. I think there's a real possibility of that. I think there's a real and Patel is probably he will make it past the midterms. I really think the president was trying to wait till after the midterms before he dismissed anybody. He needed somebody to fall on the sacrificial sword, as they say, and I really believe he did this now for that reason. But I think after the midterms, really, no matter how it goes, they'll end up being some more moves. Maybe a little. I don't know if it'd be more or less depending on who held, what happens in those elections. There's a lot of people didn't win their primaries, so there's a lot of change coming already in who's running on the Democrat, Republican, those areas. But even if it's a Democrat win in the general election, those seats have changed. We know of three, I think it is already, that are not going to make it back. Mr. Green from Texas, Crockett, and there was another one, and I can't think who it is, now not going to be running for their office. They were defeated in their primary. So it's Democrat to Democrat. They got defeated. So the people in their own district were disgusted with them and defeated them. So they can cry all they want. They can say racism, cheating, whatever. Okay, that's fine, fair. You can say it, but she's running against your own. This ain't Republicans. This is you Democrats voting for Democrats, and you got beat. So I think people are a little sick and tired. Even on, I mean, I'm sure independents and come over. Some of those that allow people to come over and vote could have been some of that. Sure, I don't know the state rules on that one. Different states have different rules in primaries, and early, special elections and all that. So it depends on the state. It depends on that special or that election rule that they could come over and vote. But and Democrats play the same game. They'll come over and vote. I mean, I've been in the voting precinct working elections, and you can just tell that the numbers are fluctuating up, as others come in and, are voting as a Republican and they're Democrat. They're trying to defeat someone. So those rules, it just, again, it's different around the country. Different areas allow different things. The fruit cake who defeated Crockett might be the biggest. Well, I know that. I have heard of them. That's what I told somebody. All these people was bragging about how she was gone. I'm like, yeah, but what replaced her? I mean, that may be some bad news right there for them. But sometimes people do that. They're already kind of nutso in their beliefs anyway, so they just vote for a different one. But there's nothing getting better there. I guess that people are glad she's gone. But in about 2 months or 3 months, they may be going, oh my gosh, what do you have to listen to this? I mean, not good. Let's see here. Kramer, U.S. may lean on Israel to stop Iran nukes. Starmer turned UK. Andrew Neil's article says Starmer turned UK into embarrassment. What a weak leader, Starmer. Can't stand that guy. His bloviating over there. We have decided to help the Americans, but we're going to follow the law. The rule of law. Really? Say that again so other people in the back can hear that you really care about the law in Great Britain on some things that you've pulled over there. Give me a break. Give me a break. Just shut up. The missiles from them are going to hit you before they hit us. Is that really the stance you want to take? I mean, maybe, okay, you didn't want the war to start, but now that it started, maybe it's time to get in the game and help us mop this bunch of nutso, zany people up and to, knock them down at least for several years from being able to be any kind of real threat. I mean, it'd be nice to have 20 years of, they don't run their mouth. That's going to happen. They can shout death to America, whatever. But when you start enacting on that, you're actually terrorizing American citizens and servicemen, and you're threatening to drop a bomb on everybody. I mean, really, Every nation in the world should have went to their door and said and knocked it down and said, "We're taking all your stuff. You've lost the right to be to play the game. Your nation status. You don't get to make rules for yourself for a while until you figure this out." I just think that's the way the world ought to be. When you do stupid stuff and you're killing people and genocide and all that, I just think the world should take you over for a while and change some people up and root out and say, spank your rear end, so to speak, and then say, "Now act right, or we'll be back." I mean, come on. I mean, we're not talking about. I'm all about sovereignty. Absolutely, but when you're threatening to destroy the world, when you're threatening to drop the bomb on everybody and just annihilate the earth, anybody but you, then something has to happen. The world has to act. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like that we're having to run operations over there. I don't want us in wars. I'd rather all of our service people to be able to be, in peace. But as I've heard it said before, at some point somebody has to do it, and that seems to fall to America. That's just part of it. We've always been a part of that. Don't like it sometimes. Sometimes I feel good about it. Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes we get in things we certainly should never be involved in. But sometimes you gotta do that. You have to knock out the evil of the world. And you always hear that, do it there instead of here. I get it. And here's the thing with Iran. Iran could never come in here and do a ground invasion and take us over. But it's this daggum missile capability. This whole idea of the geopolitical, how you defend your nation has changed because of drones. Now, the drones, and for us, is not a problem. They're not going to fly that far. But those Shahab missiles that they have, they can't. And North Korea has the same capability. So we cannot allow a nuclear-tipped missile to ever be. I mean, if one gets through, can you imagine the damage and carnage? A low-grade nuclear-tipped missile. I mean, nuclear anything's bad. They say, well, it's small. Well, let it hit any city in America and see the chaos that it would ensue. I mean, we cannot ever allow that. And these people are just fanatical enough to do it. They really don't care. I mean, you can see we've knocked out 100 members of their leadership. And now the next people up are, saying they're going to kill Trump and all this stuff. I mean, you can be taught. But we got to knock out, for the region, the drones are, for our bases and stuff. So they can rebuild them, but we have got to, just got to keep good intel, knock down that stockpile to where they only have a handful, make sure they have no nuclear capability, and just manage the threat. Put some more Patriot batteries in the region, to try to knock out these things before they ever get in. Most of them do. If we limit their number, if we limit how many they have, and they can't get nuclear tipped, be able to have one. They can still do some damage, but nothing like world destruction, seeing whole cities leveled due to a nuclear blast, or not being able to be inhabited for the next 300 years or something, or 3,000 years. We just can't allow that. Just can't. And I hate that. That this has been, they have created such a stockpile. I think they probably have more than anybody in the world. They have been doing nothing but building these things and building them and building them. And we can see that they'll fire them on anybody. They fire them at anything. They are a threat to literally most of the world. And so let's just get the operation over as quickly as possible. In Georgia, again, we have the special election Tuesday. Will be election day. A lot of candidates. My gosh, when I went to vote, I had to roll the screen up to see them all on screen. I just never have voted in a primary or a special anything that had that many candidates on the screen. Wow. It's like, there's no way it won't be a runoff. It has to be. There's no way that you're going to get 50 plus 1 in the state of Georgia to be able to have it'll happen. So that's going to be another election, the runoff, which won't run as long. Go back through the whole thing and try to get someone elected. Or they will get someone elected. It'll be two Two will run off, the top two. Another concern, yes, and I was thinking about those, and I was saying that the suitcase nukes, especially since the border was open for so long, and they could be in the country, and that could be set off. My gosh, in a railway. Um, Good morning, Watchman. Iran can't hit us if they don't have ICBMs. Yeah, and that's I'll say just knock down that we don't have to worry about it through the air, and that's the main thing for us. The other countries over there can worry about that, the rest, but we do need to make sure they don't have that capability. And then yes, close the borders and hope to God they don't have a suitcase bomb in the nation. Because can you imagine a major water supply, a dam or something got hit with that, or the rail system in New York, or they're going to hit a major city. I mean, that's New York or in LA, or you would think. I mean, because they want mass casualty. But yeah, good morning, Daryl Broom. I mean, that would be what they would do, and that's what we have to defend against. And I say get our people out of there. But I for sure want them to knock out any capability they have of long range missiles, because they're crazy. They're just even if they tipped it with a chemical weapon, a chemical of some kind that could kill a lot of people. It doesn't have to be nuclear. There's a lot of things they could do if we knock out their ability to be able to hit us with those missiles. Then we don't have to. Our bases though do. That's the problem. It's not just that our bases do. And maybe we need to move some of those bases. I don't know, because that's going to pull us back into it. Well, I understand your stance on that, and I understand because Israel's hitting them at the same time, and right now we're fighting together, and a lot of people are upset about that, and but they're working that way. Is my point? They're working that way. If we knock out their capability to do that, largely because they keep expanding the range, the Shahab 1 to the Shahab 2. I mean, they keep extending the range. I'm not saying it's a direct threat right now, but again, it doesn't have to be really at us as in the physical mainland of the United States. It's what about our ships, our bases and stuff. So they do have the ability to hit those, and have done it, and we've lost service members. So we definitely, it is definitely that part. Even if you have that whole other part, I understand. I get it. A lot of people are upset about, there's two tracks there. Some people are okay, like we should. Some people we shouldn't, and so I get that. But, and I said this the first day, while we're there, I mean, while we're shopping, it's already started. We can debate if it should have or why, and not even debate, just whatever you feel about it. We need to do as much to knock out what we can while we're there and then get out. I mean, when you're in, you're in. It's like it started. Now the match is lit. Okay, now there's American troops dead. Hey JJ, well wishes to you. Let's take care of it as best we can while we're there. No, I'm not saying that, Watchman. I'm just saying that while we're there, this country is a threat. They're fanatical, and they have hurt Americans throughout the course of our recent history. And good morning, Jake from Mississippi. How you doing, my friend? So again, I'm not taking that part. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying while we are there, I've not even said much about the Israeli strikes, except that they hit their leadership and stuff. They've got their own agenda. They do. And you can even see the administration showing a clear difference between the agendas, because they know that's not popular here. And so they have said, this is our agenda, that's their agenda, this is what we're here for, then we're getting out. He'll be back on tonight, Jake. He didn't make it in this morning. Some mornings he can, some mornings he can't. So he didn't make it in. But Biscuit Boy was in the house last night, and I enjoyed having him here. He's funny, a funny guy, great friend, and one of my best friends. I hope y'all are having a blessed day. It's like I say, it's been a hard week. Oh my gosh, I am so emotionally, physically drained. I was so tired this morning. I was like, oh, I wanted to do the show. My mind was like, yes. My body was saying no. But y'all keep praying for my wife. It's been a hard, hard week. And for those that don't know, after Monday's show, I took her to the hospital. She was in the hospital till yesterday. And, she's not in any immediate danger, but her health, it's precarious. And we have, we have people coming to help and stuff. So, but hopefully she'll get stronger and do good. So thank you, Jake. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, she's a trooper and a fighter, and I've got some things to wrap up today. I didn't get to work all week. Been at the hospital day and night, with little breaks to go, rest or get things done. And a lot of people, friends, family have come by, and we appreciate them doing that. And hopefully we keep her out of that place. But I will say again, great job, hospital. They were fantastic. I just appreciate each one of them. Basically, I'm not a fan of either country. Like to see them take each other. Get your popcorn ready, and they're going. Hey, I understand. Yeah, there's been attacks done on that. There's things I don't like that Israel's done. I've never said that I liked everything they do. There's been some overreaches sometimes that they have done, but those, if they pick a fight, with or they mutual agreement to pick a fight, it's going to be ugly. I mean, we're getting into end time events. I mean, the end pieces are coming together pretty quickly right now, and it's get ready, folks, because it's happening. I mean, that's it does. So we're not going to be able to. They're going to do what they're going to do. We can't even control that. I mean, so honestly, nobody can. Israel's going to do what Israel's going to do, and I think we just need to get we get this mopped up on our end and get out. But yeah, and it's the old story. I mean, the defense of oil and all that, but it does affect markets, and we've got to keep the shipping open. I mean, at least we need the shipping lanes open. So, but listen, I love the Iranian people. I know many of them, but I cannot stand. I cannot stand their leadership. They're horrible. They're horrible, horrible, horrible. And Iraq has never been any better. I mean, they haven't. They've not been They've not been as mouthy here lately since the fall of Saddam, but they've still got the same old ability to be just as evil. They do. And there's so many in the region do. Some of them want to be a little more Western, and some of them don't. But we get that in that region. It's a loser proposition to try to build any kind of thing there. President's been pretty successful building a coalition there, but that's a coalition that could fall apart at any time. Truly. So let's keep praying for our service members, though. Praying for the families of those who have died. Very heartbreaking. And probably be more, and I hate that. We don't want to see that. Absolutely do not want to see that. Hey, Jason, good morning to you. Thank you for the like. I was just praying for our service members. It's going to be sad, as these come back home in the military funerals, and it just reminds us of, But again, on that level, I'm not even going to have politics in it. I'm just saying, a soldier does a soldier's duty. If a soldier's told to go, that's what a soldier does. They were serving, doing their job, and they died doing their job. And they deserve all the recognition we could give them, support to the families. I was so heartbroken. One of the families, they tried to reach their loved one, and they couldn't. And they said when the doorbell rang, they knew. And I just can't imagine what that was like for them. I don't even want to imagine. It's impossible for me. I have a friend who has served on those as a Marine from the other side. And it was an honor to serve. As he said, it's very difficult. You can understand. He told me one time they went to a man's house, and they cannot leave until there's certain things that has to happen. And the guy cussed at him and told him to get out of there. So they went and they sat in the car. They called it in. And of course, they told him, just stay there. And they stayed there for hours. And they sat in the driveway of this man's house who had lost his son for hours. I'm thinking like 12. And finally, the guy comes out and he says, "What's it going to take for me to get you to leave?" And, they just said, "Well, we have to do, hand you this. Can you sign this? Whatever it was." And then, we're gone. And he said, "Let's do it." And he just couldn't face it, And, they understood it was very difficult. It is just very, very difficult duty to go and tell somebody something like that, whether that's a local police doing it but man, that's an honorable thing that we do. At least we do send those there to express the condolences of the nation. And there's a form to it. I mean, it's not just, we ride up willy nilly. No, there's an order to that. And I've never served on it. It's just like a military funeral. The way they do those, it's amazing. I've went and watched many if you hear them bagpipes coming and they come over the hill, you don't even see them. Oh, it's so amazing. And sadly today we have so many veterans dying. They don't always get, sometimes the music is popped in. The taps is not even live. That's sad to say, but it's hard to get enough of those guys. There's so many funerals. And I talked to some guys, they said they could do funerals every day, but we have jobs and we do what we can, but they serve on as many as they can. But they were excellent. I went back over the hill and talked with them after they did their duty for a gentleman I know. His dad died, who was a World War II vet, and he was just it was just amazing. Daryl, this is evidence of a wicked nation has forgotten God. There are many nations that this includes. It amazes me that people call themselves Bible believers don't see this ideology of war. I have warfare daily. Warfare is real. This is the spirit of ancient Persia that at one time ruled the war. If you declare war, you better be guided by God Almighty, because that nations that have turned against God will be turned into hell. God bless you, man. Yeah, it's not, it's dangerous business to do that. Very dangerous business, and you better be. So, well, and Watchmen, yeah, I understand. There will be many flag draped coffins, and because of that, the goings on there. And hey, listen, the Bible is replete with the end times, and the Jerusalem, being this, the nations will become drunken with it, and it's a burdensome stone. I mean, listen, we can't. I mean, we can see it, and we understand that in the end, there's going to be what will happen when Messiah comes, and what will happen for Israel and all that. But we understand the whole world at one point will turn against Israel. The whole world. And then there will be, if it wasn't for Christ coming back, there would be nothing left. So we have to go down this road, unfortunately. Or at what step are we? Couldn't tell you. But we know that in the end days, the Battle of Armageddon is sitting out there. There's all these confederated nations that are going to come together with Russia. We see all these, end time battles from Psalms all the way through the minor and major prophets. I mean, we see that. And we're getting closer, and we're just getting closer. I'm not excusing anything. I'm just saying that it's like we're on the front row of this great theater, and we're watching this, and we're like, wow, and it's just like it's happening so quickly. Things are speeding up. They really are. Hey, Daryl, you got a time for a phone call today? I was hoping I could talk to you today at some point. Not this morning, just sometime during the day. Just wanted to chat with you, ask you something if you have time. I can send you my number if you don't have it. But I hope everybody has a great day. We're getting close to the end of the show, and thanks for everybody dropping in today. It's good to be back. We'll have shows tonight with a dirt track driver. He's coming in remote. I think okay, good. I think Dean's going to come in from his house, so he's testing out. He's trying to get used to doing that. And then Biscuit Boy is probably going to drop in, same way. And then our driver. So there'll be 4 of us on screen. Maybe Dusty will stop in. We'll push the envelope a little bit, get 5. We can go up to 10. We have to order. I will, brother. I just want to ask you something. I can't wait till Jesus comes too, Watchman. I can't wait till all the enemies of the cross are. I mean, that's the utopia we're waiting on. is for Jesus to return. Amen. And there is ugly and evil in the world, and it's sad. And hey, thank you, Daryl. Man, we felt those prayers this week. It has been such a tough week for us, and we're just trying to get wife's home, and we're trying to get today. We'll kind of try to get in a routine of that. We got things next week. We've got some things set up for help and to help us, and hopefully just pray she gets stronger. We want to see her continue to be as active as possible, and I'm hoping that will occur. So, but God bless you, and God bless America. Pray for our military as you do. Pray for each other. Pray for souls to be saved. It is, I think of these service people, like anybody. If we go out and drive a car, we're taking our life. I mean, our life could be required of us at any moment. But you think about soldiers in a war zone, and some of those young people don't know Christ, and I just think about them, but many do, but some don't. I would say there's a lot of praying going on in the military bases over there and ships in the air. I think there's a lot of praying going on among our military right now. I think I'm doggone sure I would be if I was having to run operations over the skies of Iran, or sitting at a base where at any time a drone or a missile could drop in. I'd definitely be thinking about that. I'd definitely be praying. Let's pray for those chaplains and others that go out there and that minister to those folks. But we'll see you tonight, and we'll go ahead and get off of here. There's the granddaughter. Hey, she's ready for school, and we'll go get them took care of, and we'll see you tonight. Take care. God bless. Pray for us. We feel those prayers. See you soon.